Hi everyone, I'm outside again today to show you something really fun that you could do for the birds in your garden. But first, we need to find out why that's important, and I know just the person. Let's go.
Hi guys, my name's David and I've worked with animals for about 16 years now, which is a really long time, and I'm here to tell you all about why it's important to look after your birdies in the garden through the winter time.
So David, tell us, why is it important to feed the birds at this time of the year?
Well, during the winter time there's a lot less food available for them. There isn't any berries on the trees or any flowers in bloom, and so it's really important to put out extra food for the birds.
So you talk about food, what kind of food should we be putting out for the birds?
Yeah, really good question. There's lots of different types of food that you can put out. So things like fat balls in hanging feeders are great for the songbirds, so blue tits and thrushes. And then for the larger birds like pigeons and woodpeckers, it's great to put things on the floor, like seed.
So are there any useful things we could use to try and identify the things we're looking at in our gardens?
There is definitely, yeah. So there's a couple of really easy things you can do. So you can download a Bird ID app, which is really easy, quick and simple to use, or you can get a couple of Bird ID books. You can pick these up from charity shops or off the internet, and of course a pair of binoculars, really important as well.
So tell us, what type of birds might we see in our garden?
So there's lots of different types of birds that you can see in your garden throughout the year really. You've got things like magpies and jays, as well as blue tits. But in the wintertime is a great time to see some migrants coming over, and that's birds that fly to the UK purely for our wintertime. And you get some really pretty little things like waxwings.
Wow, thank you very much, David, for all that really useful information.
That's not a problem. Grab your bird book, head out to the garden and have some fun.
So now we know about the types of birds we might see in our garden and the things we should feed them. Let's head on inside and make a bird feeder. So now that we're inside, I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make your bird feeder. So I've got some string here that I've used to tie a loop around a mould. I'm using a pine cone, but you could use a piece of fruit. We're going to mould our feeder around this in a moment. And as we learned earlier, birds like seeds that are high in fat. So I've got some peanuts and cashew nuts that have been crushed up in here. And I've also got some sunflower seeds in this one. And we're going to mix that all up with some lard as well. So, in our bowl, we're going to start by adding some lard. So I've chopped mine up. In it goes into the bowl first of all. And then all we do is take some seeds, sprinkle them into the bowl like this. And some sunflower seeds, sprinkle them into the bowl like this. And now it's time to roll up your sleeves and mix it all together. So now that we've been mixing for a few moments, it looks a little bit like this in the bowl. So what we're going to do is we're going to take chunks out and we're going to start, going back to our mould from earlier, we're going to start squishing it onto our mould like this. And we're going to keep going until we've completely covered all of the mould with the lard, and all the lovely high fat seeds that we learned earlier are great for the birds. So after a few minutes of moulding, you should have a fat ball that looks like mine here. But before we can do the very final job, there's an even more important job, and that's to go and give our hands a very good wash with some hot water and soap. So have you got nice and clean hands like I have? Excellent. So now we've got one final job left to do, and that's to put the fat ball onto a plate so that we can pop it into the fridge. Now the reason why it needs to go in the fridge is so that the lard can set nice and hard, ready for the birds to enjoy. So my fat ball has been hardening nicely in the fridge now for around 2 hours, so I think it's just about ready to be enjoyed by the birds. Now we've learnt a lot in today's video. We've learnt about the types of birds that we might see in our garden, as well as what foods they like to eat. So I've got one last job to do, and so have you, and that's to go and hang your fat ball in the tree. I'll see you next time.